Hi guys, Righteous Raymond here, back again with another very powerful dose of truth for the day. And that is this. This is for the ladies. This is for my ladies. This is for my ladies. Ladies, you gotta decenter men. Ladies, you absolutely must. It is imperative that you decenter men. Decenter does not mean dishonor, disregard, disrespect. It does not mean that you diss. It doesn't mean any of that. Dog or down men. It don't mean that. Decenter means that you take men from the center of your entire being and you put the right thing in the center, okay? So I have a diagram here. I have to write backwards because TikTok, reverses the word. So I hope I got every letter the right way. Decenter means, so you see here, this is your life as a woman. Your life as a woman. This is your life, right? Your whole big circle. You all have men as the huge giant center. Look in that. Men. Your entire center. It's not a small center. It's not a dot. It's a huge part of the center of your life is centered on men. Now look what's on the outskirts. You got just enough room for your joy, health, goals, money, kids, peace, purpose. And I told you how to write it backwards. So the Y's are backwards. The lowercase y's. Your joy, health, goals, money, kids, peace, purpose, spirituality. If you have kids, you have very little room for that because you have centered men. But you must decenter men. I'm not saying treat men like nothing. I'm talking about put the men in a rightful piece of the pie. They're not the whole pie. They're just a piece, okay? Now look here. When you center men, this is why you must decenter men, women. Look at what a man centers. When you go to what the modern man centers, look at the modern man. They center men. The men in their life, they center men, okay? That is why you have so many fatherless homes. The man said, do I stay here with this woman and not her, our baby? Or do I just leave and make another baby somewhere else and then leave that home and make another baby and leave that home and make another baby somewhere else and I leave that home and make another baby somewhere else? These men are centering themselves. These men are creating broken homes. And if you look at the statistics after this video of fatherless homes, how to fix children, how to fix teenage pregnancy, behavior disorder, juvenile delinquent behavior, lifelong criminality, addiction in children. Okay? Poverty, lifelong poverty. When a man decides to father a child and leaves, when he centers himself, and the woman is still here. The woman's still in her life. She's got the kids. She's got custody of the kids, right? She ain't left. The man decenters you and goes centers himself, and you're still left here with just the rest of your life on the crust, the crust and the cusp, okay, of the pie. So you need to decenter men, put them in a rightful little small piece of your life. Men are very important to women, but they need to be in a very small sector, not the whole big center, okay? Because when you center men, your men are centering themselves. Now, if men were centering you, if you were in there and centering a man, if you were there and kids were in there, society was in there, it'd be different. But men, these modern men, they center themselves, okay? So, ladies, I try to give y'all opportunity to center these men. I try to give y'all a season, and I have reviewed the statistics. I have reviewed the rates, the evidence, the exhibits A through Z, and you all have shown me that we absolutely must decenter men now, okay? You cannot afford another day of centering men. I'm going to tell you why, all right? You can never or should never center a group that marginalizes you. Okay, let me show y'all what I mean by marginalized. Okay. This is the center of something. The outskirts is what's marginalized. I'm talking about the outer line, like this black line. That's marginalized. When you center people that marginalize you, you are not advocating for yourself, okay? I also had to recently I had to decenter white people. I had to decenter whiteness. I had, growing up in America, you center white people sometimes, okay? You cannot center a people that marginalizes you. You need to center yourself. Not like in a self-centered, narcissistic, egotistical way, but just make sure that you advocate for yourself. Because guess what? You're so loving, you're so giving, you're so kind that even when you center yourself, you make sure everybody else is straight. Even when you're selfish, you always say, hold on, did the kids get something to eat? Did my husband get a plate? Did my mama get something? Did my daddy straight? My stepdaddy straight? Women are so selfish sometimes that even when we make sure that we're straight, everybody prospers, okay? Look up the difference between a patriarchal society and a matriarchal society. Matriarchal societies include increased autonomy for women, lower rates of domestic violence, superior social support, higher community wealth. Matriarchal societies prioritize collective well-being, cooperation, and gender balance, fostering environments that are often more peaceful and sustainable. Imagine if every world leader was run by a woman. Would there be all that foolishness going on over there across the ocean? Would there have been any WARS if women were in leadership over all the nations? Think about it. Versus a patriarchal society, which poses significant dangers enforcing rigid gender hierarchies, resulting in systemic inequality, widespread gender-based violence, diminished autonomy for women. It impacts everyone by limiting human potential, restricting emotional expression in men. It even hurts men. It limits emotional expression in men, perpetuates discrimination, and often causes severe mental health challenges. So when we center men, or even patriarchal societies, everybody suffers. The men suffer just as much, well, I'm saying just as much, but almost as much as the women, okay? So we're going to decenter men. This is who we're going to decenter. Now, if a man centers you, then center him. If a man going to make sure you straight, make sure his plate always cooked, make sure his drawers always say wash, make sure his carpet's always vacuumed, make sure he's always pleased, okay? If a man centers you, center him. But if a man does not center you, decenter him, okay? I need you to totally do the least. If a man does the least for you, I want you to do the least for him. If a man thinks that you deserve less because you're a female, because you have certain genitalia, because you have certain chromosomes, I need you to do the absolute least for him, okay? If a man thinks you deserve less because you're a female, I need you to do the least for him, okay? All right. So women, starting right now, if you're in conversations or in a relationship or communication or the circle of the company of a man that does these things, I want you to immediately decenter him and do the least for him until he changes his behavior, okay? Any man that rolls their eyes when you talk, you're in a group, you're in an office meeting, and you're the only woman in the group, and you say, I have something I want to contribute to the conversation. And he's like, here she go again. What is it? If he does that, decenter him. He already thinks because you're a woman, you have nothing to add to the conversation, nothing to contribute to the discussion. If they roll their eyes when you're talking, if you share something to the group, if they sigh, look at their phone, like, hold on, she talking again. You say you want to talk about what again? You want to talk about what again? Our anniversary coming up. All right, let's see. He's already lost interest. If they look at their watch or clock, you talking about, hey, I got something important to talk about regarding what happened at the family reunion. He looking so disinterested just because you're a woman. Now, keep in mind, he wouldn't do this if you was a man. If you was his best friend doing this, he wouldn't have cut you off. He would have listened. He would have been like, now, what's going on? What happened? I'm sorry. How did I offend you? Because you're a woman, he don't want to listen to you. We decentering it. If he mansplains, say he don't understand, this is how a woman's period works. You don't understand, so you don't understand. This is how women's hormones work when they have a baby. If he tries to explain something that women know more than men know and try to explain it to you in a condescending tone, decentered. If he does not honor commitments, if he does not keep dates or plans, if he breaks dates with you, decenter. If he gives you silent treatment when you make him mad, or you won't give him sex because you don't want to, you don't feel like it, decenter him. If he listens intently to men at the table, but then when you talk, he's like, this woman ain't got nothing to say, she a woman. If he makes statements like, see you women, see y'all women, if he say females, absolutely decenter. If he say, see you females, absolutely decenter him, okay? So ladies, once I have reviewed all the statistics and all the things, you have to decenter men. I mean, the rising STD rates, the rising HIV rates, the unwanted pregnancies, them damaging the walls and the doors in your apartment, in your home, getting you put out of your apartment, you doing jail time because they got you in trouble when they were the ones attacking you, okay? You had reactive abuse, okay? You wasting money on their commissary. Your car being wrecked, your car insurance going up because they wrecked your car for the 10th time, okay? Your self-harming is increasing, okay? Your addictions. Women who are in domestic violence situations, they linked it to addiction, okay? Women who have been used, they usually have high rates of addiction. Bills going up, kids going through, family cut off. You all, when you center men, your lives went to crap, okay? You must decenter men. Thanks for watching, guys. Buy my book on Amazon or Kindle. Bye.